listen, listen. We we were very lucky to get Mark. If you look at last season again, there were a lot of games that we were lucky from going that 8-3 didn't turn into like 65. Okay, you beat Vatek at an empty lane stadium by 1 point. All right, and NC State was embarrassing us on national TV. One of the worst defensive performances I've seen. And then the Eric King and these wide receivers started making plays and clicking and stuff like that. But they were kicking out behind. Like that wasn't good. Okay. I'm not getting into that Elvis debate with you, Mark. I'm
Oh,
not
are we?
doing it.
Is that on there?
I'm not doing it. Okay. I'm not going there. This is a Miami channel. I am not doing it with you today. Okay. It's just that simple.
It is a football channel. It is a football channel.
Okay, we could talk about that off camera. Anyhow, back to what I was saying. I even lost my train of thought. Where was I, Mark?
Lost my train of thought too.
Yeah, whatever.
I was still stuck on all these other 1984 comments. That's what I was laughing
okay.
about.
I don't even know where I was going at this point. Anyhow,
well, we started talking. You were on the NC State game, and you were on how Miami could have blown.
Oh, last season.
Game, the NC State game. How De'Aaron King and the wide receivers started just dropping dimes, and basically the passing game saved Miami on that Friday night, 44-41. That was a great game.
I mean,
I enjoyed that game. Just as a college football fan, I enjoyed De'Aaron King. He was throwing dimes that night. The wide receivers suddenly started like hanging on to the ball, making plays, and it was fun. They were down by 10 in the fourth quarter, came back and pulled it out.
Yeah, it was solid, but here's what I'm saying. That is having the talent to get you over the hump, okay, in those kind of games. What we hired was somebody who's going to go 6-7 wins, okay? We showed that the first year. Then he's showing that this year, less than that. And last year, the only thing is he had 2 more wins than what we believe to be his normal 6-7 wins. Okay. The way I look at this NC State team, and I think if I'm not wrong here, and I'm wrong a lot, that's okay. We played the backup QB at NC State because the starter was hurt, correct?
Correct. Yes.
We played like 3 backups, back to back to back. Did we play Virginia's backup? I know it was NC State, Pittsburgh's backup. And I think it was one more team we were blessed to run into their backup.
So you're bringing up a good point that I didn't even really put together that I should have. Yeah, Kenny Pickett's really good quarterback
season,
for
it was
Pitt.
like
19 touchdowns and 1 pick this year. Kenny Pickett's turned into like an NFL, like a serious NFL prospect, and he didn't play that game. Yes.
Nope.
Bailey Hockman, who was the Florida State recruit that went to NC State, I think he took over. Devin Leary's the guy that's tearing it up this year. He didn't play in that game. Yeah, that season might have been worse.
Exactly. All right. And it came down to a final play to be able to tackle Hendon Hooker in open space against Vatek, or they were going to be in field goal range and kick a game-winning field goal and run off into the sunset. So, anyhow, back to this year's game. Mark, we even had another lapse in judgment. We're pulling out the all-black Miami Knights for this game. Read the room, man. It's just, but it continues to show it. It continues to show just the lapse in judgment, the mindset, the focus, and lack thereof of who's leading our program. I love the black uniforms. I think it's cool, but I just also understand that you have to read the room. It's not that kind of season to do. But he pulled out the all black uniforms for NC State. So, uh, lapse in judgment, in my opinion. Majority of that NC State team that took us to the brink last year is returning this year with their starting QB. Mark, unfortunately, I think this game is going to get kind of ugly. I don't know if it's going to be fast, but I think it's going to be a pretty ugly game, in my opinion. If our offense comes to show out and show up, similar to what happened last week against UNC, but NC State defensively is pretty good. All right. Their offensive line at NC State, woo, they're going to be a problem. They are very, very, very good. And with the people that Coach Diaz continues to put out on the field for the Miami defensive line, more specifically defensive tackle, and lack thereof of the 5-star who grades out as our best player every week. I think that game, that matchup is not going to be well. Their wide receiver core against our defensive backs, that's not going to be too good. Their QB against our entire defense, I don't necessarily see that working out well. So, you can call me a hater. You can say I'm tripping. I don't know. That's fine. That's fine. Here's all I'm saying. I don't believe we are going to be ready to line up against them and play them. Because that's a squad. They're going to give us a run for our money. And unless we come out with this big-time offensive explosion and try to drag it to a shootout to where it's like another 45-42 or 51-42, something like that, I don't see it being very successful for